We will be focused on Norman. There's a big one in Stillwater
Yeah.
on Saturday as well. 3 p.m. You've got number 12 Utah taking on number 14 Oklahoma State. Currently, Utah is a 2-point road favorite. Isn't it great that the state of Oklahoma is the center of the college football universe this weekend?
It is. I love it. Two really good football games. Um, you got conference newcomers taking on conference mainstays. So I don't know, it's going to be really cool. And Oklahoma State's got a big challenge, man. They got to get their running game going, don't they?
It feels like last year for
Yeah.
them, but and there's some main questions heading into this game. I think the top question is how effective will Cam Rising be?
Right.
Had the throwing hand injury. It sounds like he is going to play, but he missed last week's game for him. I would assume he's going to be close to 100%. And if he is, I think Oklahoma State could be in trouble in this one because they look really good at the line of scrimmage right now. And I keep thinking about last year for Ollie Gordon, where he didn't have that many opportunities to start the season, but then he started getting more, and that thing just really opened up. They went to some more gap scheme runs, and the floodgates opened for him. But a lot of the time, it was kind of Ollie Gordon
Yeah.
doing something special. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. I just is the Utah defense really where your run game gets right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Probably not. Now, Bowman has done a really good job. I'm sure the focus for teams coming in has been if we could shut down Ollie Gordon, we could shut down Oklahoma State's offense. And, it's right to feel that way. But Bowman's done a pretty good job slinging it around. I'm sure they're getting some heavy boxes trying to stop the run, and he's been able to make them pay. And, if that's what Utah does, you got to make them pay through the air as well. It's going to be by far the most difficult challenge for their offense that they've had this year.
If you're Utah, you're feeling really good about things if you can limit Ollie Gordon and Brennan Presley.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can live with any other guy for Oklahoma State beating you, making big plays in
Right.
one-on-one situations. But Alan Bowman, he's going to have himself a day. I think the Pokes passing attack is going to be, it's going to determine whether they win or lose this football game. I think I just trust Utah's defense more than Oklahoma State's.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
But I don't know. It's gonna be an awesome environment in Stillwater.
I feel like this is going to be like similar to the Arkansas game, not the way that it plays out, but we're left scratching our heads at the end of it saying, how in the world did Oklahoma State win that football game? And I don't know how it's going to happen. Like, to me, everything except obviously being in Stillwater, I think I think the favor on offense and defense leans towards Utah, and you could even say maybe it leans heavily towards Utah. Um, but it's college football; it just doesn't always play out like that. So Oklahoma State has found a way to win football games in a variety of ways, and I don't know. I think Utah's the better football team right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they can come into Stillwater and get a win.
Is it weird that I think that turf in Stillwater gets hotter than the surface of the sun,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be hot on Saturday, and that's just not how the weather is right now in Salt Lake City. It's just
No.
not.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what that second half looks like. Could we see Utah just get cooked by that sun and that turf and maybe get a little worn down? I don't know. but I do think that could play a bit of a factor in this football game. I don't know. Could we see Utah fade a little bit late? We'll see. But I do think Utah has the better football team going into this one. But the best thing about college football is it's not always the best team that wins the game. And I just cannot wait to watch this football game. I think it's gonna be a really good one.
I do too. And final thing is Oklahoma State. Like it's not a huge stadium. Well, it holds what right around 50,000, I think, maybe a little bit above. It's loud and it's intense. That student section is right on top of the benches over there on Utah. I mean, I think that's going to be a factor too. I think Utah's the better football team, but I think Oklahoma State finds a way to win the game.
I'll take
Don't know how.
Utah.
I
I'll
mean,
take Utah. And I don't feel good about it. I
yeah,
don't feel good. You know how we feel about Mike Gundy. Guy's a heck of a football coach. Home dog. Do I feel good taking Utah? Not at all. But I just have a hard time believing that Ollie Gordon, that run game, is going to get going against this defense. And I I can't get some of the chunk plays from the Arkansas game out of my head for that Oklahoma State defense. Just getting gashed and gashed. I'm picking Utah, but I'll be honest, I hope Oklahoma State wins. I hope we have just absolute elation in the state of Oklahoma on Saturday with an Oklahoma State win and then an Oklahoma win to cap off the night. That
that'd
that
be
is my
big.
dream.
That'd be big. Two top 15 wins in the same day, back to back. That would be nice.
There will be some CFB sickos that hit both of these games. You go
Yeah,
to this one, take off when maybe it looks like it's decided, and maybe that's not to the last couple of drives of the game. If that's the case, what you catch the last 2.5 quarters, maybe 3 quarters of OU Tennessee, at least the last half.
we
You can
should be
catch
able
them
to
both, no
cruise.
doubt.
Yeah, everyone's going to be jammed in that stadium. Should be able to cruise right up to the outside and walk in. So yeah, that's a nice day. That's a long day, but that'd be fun.
There's going to be some people that do it. Guarantee it.
Dan, can you imagine being in the heat for that Oklahoma State game and then saddling up to do it again? 2 days.
There's there's substances for that type of stuff, Ted.
That's true. That's true.
Moving on to the next game. Really interesting one. Number 11 USC travels to number 18 Michigan. This game will be 2:30 on CBS. USC currently a 5.5 point road favorite at the Big House. First and foremost, just going to be an awesome uniform matchup.
Yeah.
Just going to be
Oh, I
beautiful to
agree.
look at. But big news heading into this game. Sharon Moore has decided to go with Alex Orji over Davis Warren at the quarterback position. And Ted, will this just unlock Michigan's offense? I don't know. The guy couldn't start over Davis Warren to start the season. And we saw how that guy struggled at the quarterback position. So I really don't know what to expect from Alex Orji other than him being more involved in the rushing attack.
Yeah. I unlock or unleash the offense. Doubt it, but it is going to help. You bring in a quarterback that can run. I think Michigan already has a pretty good chance to control the line of scrimmage, even though USC's improved on the defensive line. But you add a quarterback that can run to the mix, and it helps you along the line of scrimmage even more. So I do think that it can help them. If you are going to be a heavy run team and then a play action and push it down the field team, I think it's the right type of guy to play. If you can have a guy in the mix that's affecting things more often than a quarterback that's handing it off the majority of the time and is not nearly as involved or as big of a threat, then it's a way to help swing the numbers back into your favor and become more efficient doing things that way. So we'll see. I'm curious about their defense. Really solid defense. They've got a bunch of big players. They're really good across the line of scrimmage, but I don't know how they're going to be able to match up with what Lincoln Riley does. Lincoln Riley's really good at spreading you out and finding whatever the weakness is and attacking it through the passing game.
I would assume that Michigan's defense views this as a bit of a redemption opportunity after Texas carved them up.
Yeah.
But USC had a bye before this week. Lincoln Riley has had 2 weeks to prepare, and that's not an ideal situation for Michigan's defense. Because let's be real, the guy knows how to dial it up. And Miller Moss has looked really solid in the first couple games this season for the Trojans, and he's got playmakers at wide receiver. I mean, Kyron Hudson, Zachariah Branch. I like McCree, the tight end. He's impressed me. But I do wonder about the offensive line for USC. They held up against LSU in the opener. I was impressed. I did not expect them to look as good as they did with how they struggled a year ago. Now they retooled, and I liked what I saw from them against LSU. But that Michigan defensive front, it's a step up.
Yeah.
So how does that USC offensive line hold up? Can they block them consistently? If they can, I think USC's walking out of there with a double-digit victory because I just do not trust Michigan's offense to produce.
Yeah.
Even against a USC defense that I think is okay.
Yeah.
I think they're being compared to the last couple of years, which was god-awful. But when I look at this game, I kind of view it similarly as Michigan's matchup with Texas. I don't think USC's as good as Texas, but I trust them to be more dynamic offensively than Michigan. So I think USC's going to win the football game.
Yeah. I, it, it, I'm just, I don't know how to, I was shocked with the way that Texas was able to run through Michigan's defense. I mean, I saw a mock draft yesterday that had Michigan had three players in the top 10 on defense. Both of their inside tackles and their corner were all in the top 10. Um,
Well, I watched Texas's center block both of them all
I
game
know,
long.
I know it. So what I'm saying is that's the talent is there, and you know that Lincoln Riley with Texas playing first, and I, there's some similarities I think between Lincoln Riley and Sarkisian with the way that they build their offense. I'm not saying their offenses are similar. I'm saying the approach of those two coordinators is similar, and seeing what Sark did to that Michigan defense, it was a big blessing for Lincoln Riley to be able to see that because he's going to be able to build some stuff off of that and find some weaknesses in there. I do not feel actually feel terrible about it. I think it's a stupid pick, but I'm taking Michigan.
You're just hoping that, maybe Michigan's offense can go with a similar formula to Bama in the first half of the season last year.
Yeah.
And now the offensive systems are very, very different. Don't get me wrong, but it was a lot of run game and QB run game with Jalen Milroe, and then chuck it down the field.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be a bad formula for Alex Orji at quarterback with the way that it sounds like he struggles in the intermediate area with his passing. But I think it's either going to be Michigan was so physical, they dominated USC at the point of attack, and USC just couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
Or it's going to be USC's really good.
Yeah.
They got a squad.
Hey, and even though Michigan is down as a defending champ, it'd still be a huge game to be able first Big Ten game on the road, like into a place like that. to get that win, that would be a big time win for Lincoln Riley. I can't get the LSU game out of my head. I don't know how good LSU is, and they were really. I thought it was going to be a rout. It looked like they were ready to rout USC in the beginning of that second half. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think it's going to be a great game. I do.
Yeah, I trust USC's
Contrasting styles.
offense,
Yeah.
but hey, it's the line of scrimmage game. If they can't block those guys from Michigan, then it's going to be a long day.
Coaching quarterback's big though. Coaching quarterback.
Well, if it's coach and quarterback, then it's pretty easy to pick one side.
That's what I'm saying. The only
No
thing
offense to our guy Sherrod Moore, Boomer Sooner Sherrod. Let's go.
yeah, it's the. I mean, Michigan has the advantage on the line of scrimmage, but is it enough?
Yeah. All right, let's hit one more. A Friday night lights game between number 24 Illinois and number 22 Nebraska. 7 p.m. Friday night. Nebraska currently a 9.5 point
Crazy,
favorite.
isn't it?
The Raiola effect. 9.5 point. Now I'm really interested in this game. I love when we get like this little one game on Friday night with a little sizzle like this one. But this could be your type of game, Ted. Both teams built on defense and physicality.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It's going to be a physical one. Illinois, they're a solid football team now. They coming off a nice little win. Um, but boy, Nebraska, I bet that place. How electric have their home games been so far this year? That one's going to be awesome on a Friday night. I don't know. I'm shocked at that line. Illinois is a scrappy team. Saw they usually can muck it up a little bit, playing some low scoring games, solid defensively. I mean, Raiola's he's the best player. He's been really solid up to this point. Can he continue to be smart with the football, make some big time plays for him? I think their offense can be the difference, but 9.5. If they have a 2 touchdown win over Illinois, that's going to be impressive for them.
No doubt. Uh, It probably comes down to whether or not Illinois can get that running game going. And I
Yeah.
love their running game. A lot of outside zone for the Illini, Ted.
Yeah.
And Caden Fegan has been solid so far for them at the running back position, but I really like Nebraska's defense.
Mm-hmm.
That group is physical. They're old. They fly around. And if they can make Illinois one dimensional, if they can make Luke Altmaier have to drop back and beat them, they're going to be in a great spot. But yeah, I look at this game and I go, one team's got Dylan Raiola in the better defense.
Yeah.
So I think that Nebraska, you combine that with what the atmosphere is going to be like in Lincoln for this one. I like Nebraska big in
Run
this
away
game.
with it. Yeah.
Is there a bunch of momentum building with the Cornhuskers? That's how it feels.
It feels like it. And I mean, it's been years and years in the making, but there is like you have to be careful with it because there is such a swell of momentum behind them. Is it real? Are the nuts and bolts actually there? And so far, it it has looked like it. And Raiola he's played, way more consistent and smart than you would typically expect a true freshman right out of the gate. So I mean, that's going to be the key. If he is smart, accurate with the football, hits on some big plays, but doesn't put the ball in jeopardy, then I think you could be right.
Have you looked at Nebraska's schedule?
Yeah, it's easy. I
They
mean,
win this one.
considering what it could have been.
Yeah, they win this one and they'll be 4-0. Their next three at Purdue, Rutgers, they've got to buy, then at Indiana, who playing some pretty good football
Yeah.
under Signetti. But That would mean it 7-0 is very, very possible before they go to Columbus on October 26th.
Bowl eligible maybe in a couple of weeks here. I mean, it's crazy.
Would we
Right out of the
even be
gate.
able to will we be able to handle that much Nebraska hype?
I don't know. I'll tell you. I mean, I know they're a longtime rival, but I love it. I think college football's better when Nebraska's good. I mean, some people may not like that, but I am. I'm actually pulling for them.
I think this is probably the best thing you can say about Nebraska right now. Last year, it caused me physical pain to watch them offensively because of
Yes,
their quarterback situation. And this year, they're kind of appointment television for me with Raiola.
I know.
I'm finding myself DVRing Nebraska games.
I mean, what they're 3-0 right now. Typically, they've turned the ball over like 30 times up to this point in the season. You know,
Maybe
they've had
Matt Rule does know what he's doing.
yeah, they look good, man. They look solid.